Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Let's talk about Melody clocking Martel's ass at the reunion. I am absolutely glad that she called him out. I feel like a lot of people let Martel get away with anything. At this point, Melody needs to be hosting the reunion because this is ridiculous. Clearly, Carlos is not doing a really good job of it, so I am here for Melody clocking him and clocking that he likes to argue with women. So this part of the reunion started with them discussing the Ken, Trish, and Martel situation. Now, if you guys remember, Martel made a joke that he and Trish slept together. So, of course, Ken isn't finding it funny. And I feel like Carlos was just trying to move on from the questions. And I'm just thinking, why is it that you are able to hold everyone else to the fire, but when it comes to Martel, you're quick to be like, okay, let's move on. There's no resolution. Nah, let's talk about it. So Melody chimes in and she's out here, she ain't playing. So she's like, doesn't Martel have anything to say to Ken? Because he likes to argue with women, but doesn't he have anything to say to Ken, who said he doesn't like that? And it's so interesting that Melody clocks that because Martel is so quick to argue with Nell, to try to argue with Melody, to argue with Tisha. But when it comes to a man, it's like, where is all the energy? Where is all the vim? Even with the whole Marceau and Martel beef, Martel kept going after Tisha. Why not go after Marceau? Yes, you kept going after Tisha. It's like you like going after women because you feel like they're an easy target. But when it comes to men, like, stand up to your fellow man. I love that she clocked him. And instead of addressing the whole issue, he tries to then redirect it again. And I'm just like, you see what your problem is? You are actually giving some credence to what Melody just said. It's like you're literally rubber stamping it, saying, yep, she's telling the truth. Because all I like to do is argue with women. And that's exactly what Martel is showing us. Kempire said something, and I've gone back to watch the clip again, and I cannot unsee it. Remember when Melody said the Martel meters are on the other side? Absolutely. You see how Martel looks over to Maurice to keep him in check? If you guys did not watch it, please go over on OMFG Reality TV and just see the clip. I have watched it a few times because every time I get so entertained just watching it back because it is ridiculous to me. It is so funny to me. Maurice caught a stray. So, of course, Maurice was out here laughing because Melody was funny, right? I know Kimmy didn't laugh, but Maurice was laughing, okay? So Martel looks over at Maurice and he's like, why are you laughing? Stop acting like a bee. I'm like, ooh, pause. So Maurice is like, she's making like some good points. Martel is like, that's not a good point, blah, blah, blah. And it is so funny how Martel gets irritated at Maurice, which begs the question, what did they discuss before that reunion? I feel like, in my opinion, now everything I say is in my opinion, allegedly, everything is for entertainment purposes only, okay? So it's all alleged. Now, I personally feel that Martel, Maurice, and Kimmy, and all those people on that side, Nell, Fletcher, and Chris, all got together and they had a game of action for this reunion. I feel like that is what they were on. They were Team Martel, and Martel made sure he brought his goons, okay? So when one of his goons was not acting in line with where Martel felt like he should have been, he decided to call him out publicly. My question to Maurice is, what does Martel have on you? This is a genuine question because imagine other people were laughing, but he looked over at Maurice and called him out. Why do you think that is? Now, if you look over on the other side where Tisha and Marceau were, they were also laughing and smiling, and Marceau had a smirk on his face. He was clearly enjoying it. But why did Martel look over there and call out the other side? Because he already knows they're not on good terms, and Marceau does not care if he chooses to expose all of the things that Marceau has done in the past. In a way, Marceau is like, yeah, burn the whole ish down. That's your business. I don't care. say what you got to say and keep it moving. But Maurice, on the other hand, it is giving the impression that Maurice does not want whatever Maurice has done in private, whatever he's into, he does not want that coming out in the public sphere. Here's the thing, Maurice. Just the way you were collateral damage and Martel had the audacity to speak to you like that, and you're here trying to clean it up and like laugh about it when he was basically, in other words, asking you to shut the F up. The fact that that was not an issue for you and you were just there, hee hee ha ha ha, tells me that there is more that Martel has on you that he has not exposed, and you don't want to get exposed. That is why you're going to let a grown-ass man basically shoot you like a little bee because you laughed. It's not even like Maurice chimed in. Maurice did not chime in. And if I remember correctly, when Kimmy was really trying to throw her tentacles in there and insert herself into the conversation, Maurice kept telling her to come out of it, which gives me the impression that there is something Maurice does not want to get out. And I'm just like, how bad is it? Because if you're waiting and trusting someone like Martel to not expose you, you have another thing coming for you. Because Martel is going to expose it all. Now, let's not forget the side chick convention that Ariane and Martel and Marceau's alleged side chick did, where they were basically accusing you, Maurice, of also getting involved in the shenanigans. So you were already a stray over there. So let's be clear. Martel is going to tell it all at some point. If I were you, I will get in front of it and not let Martel be out here sunning you. It's ridiculous. It makes you look like a little bee. Imagine letting a grown man speak to you like that. Absolutely wild. You know, as much as they don't think that they need Melody, they absolutely need Melody. Let's be clear. If Melody was not on this reunion, there would have been no part of the reunion that was interesting. Imagine her having to call out Martel and tell Martel that he always has issues with women, but ain't got nothing to say to a man like Ken with all the muscles, because you know that Ken is going to whoop that ass, in my opinion. What else would we have watched on this episode if Melody didn't call out Martel? The fact that she called out Martel gave us something interesting to talk about. Now, I do know, first of all, there's also another thing that I really want to talk about quickly before I end this video, is Nell told Martel to stop screaming in her ears, okay? And Martel was not happy with that. Martel basically started going off on her. They're both going at each other. And I'm just like, you're just proving Melody's point. Melody just outed you for this behavior where you cannot have a conversation with a man that you perceive to be a threat, but then you are so quick to want to go back and forth with a woman. It's like, and Chris, you are such a weak ass man, in my opinion. How can you let somebody like Martel talk to your wife anyhow? Now, I will give Chris some leeway in the sense that I don't know if it's the way it's edited, but I feel like from what we are seeing, Chris did not stand up for his wife. Now, this is not the first time that we have seen that Chris does not stand up for Nell. Remember how I believe there was a reunion where Melody was actually defending Nell and standing up against Chris and saying Chris should have protected and defended his wife. And I completely agree with her. And I feel like this is just another example where Chris is not doing what he needs to do as a husband. Your duty as a husband, provide, protect, honey. Provide, protect. Those are, I know they say it's the 3 Ps. I can't remember what the third one is. Profess, I believe. But provide and protect. You are not protecting your woman when you let someone like Martel be in her face, shouting in her ears. Say what you want about Marceau. And I say a lot of things about Marceau. But if you notice, when Marquez, Ken, and Trish were going at it, and Tisha was sitting right there, guess what Marceau did? Marceau switched seats with Tisha. Why do you think that is? That's in a way trying to protect his wife. Because what if something pops up and Marquez gets up, Ken gets up, it becomes physical, and then they fall over on Tisha? Of course, he doesn't want that. That's why he's stepping in. That's what he should do as a good husband. So when I say that people need to do better, Martel needs to do better, Carlos needs to do better, Ken and Trish, they just need to go. I don't want to see them back on the show. Now, that is all I have to talk to you guys about today. I personally feel like Melody is definitely needed if the show is going to be interesting. We wouldn't have gotten a part 3 without Melody, because she brought the entertainment to this episode. To be honest, I think that they should have just kept the reunion to one part. There's no need for 3 parts. Nothing is getting resolved. I don't know why you're dragging it into 3 parts of nothing. I don't really think Stormy brought anything into the episode that we really needed to see. Now, I'm glad she left. I'm glad things are going well with her and her business. I will always root for people's businesses. So yes, absolutely glad things are going well for her. But that's about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. So yeah, like I said, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Melody should have called Martel? Did you guys agree with her calling out Martel? Do you guys agree with what she had to say about how Martel behaves? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the chat. Thank you. Bye.